We have remade many weapons on this channel, but this one's special. Because today, we are remaking the best two-hander in all of classic WoW, Might of Menethil. I started the modeling process of this nifty weapon by creating what most nifty weapons in WoW consist of in large part, which is a long stick. Now, of course, a stick is just a stick, unless it is something big and heavy at the end of it, in which case it has really met all requirements WoW seems to have for classifying as a mace. And considering this mace is indeed the best two-hander in classic WoW, this thing had some shoes to fill. After modeling one section of the mace head, I duplicated it, rotated 90 degrees and fused the ends together. My brain has two halves. One does all the planning ahead, the other one is completely in charge. So I kinda modeled some random shit for the pommel, thinking it would work out. It didn't. So I changed it and just plagiarized the source material instead. Something very out of fashion in modern media. These old weapons can be pretty hard to read, but I think I got it right. Yeah, doesn't matter. The top needed a spike. As skeptical as I am of using this thing as a thrusting weapon, the original has it, so mine will have it too. And with the mace hat largely done, all that was left to do was to make some final adjustments to the aforementioned stick part of this weapon. The handle of this is a chunky bastard, so we made these little ridges to add some 3D to the wraps, which can sometimes do a lot for your final result. As well as fleshing out the wraps, I broke up the haft into some more segments, for a nicer silhouette. I finished off by sharpening my edges. Rather than efficiently, I did them all one by one, because I thought this shot might look satisfying. If one of you mentions it, I'll consider it a success. Of course, I UV unwrapped this whole thing, as one does when making 3D models. And just like that, my legendary legends, I can present to you the model of my updated Might of Menethil. Now let's paint this thing. Texturing the Might of Menethil started the way it always does, which is to lay a foundation of the basic tones, which I should probably go harder on than I did here. I need to be a bit bolder. This weapon's got a whole bunch of glowy shit going on, which I painted in first to try and get the design in front of me as much as I could. Whenever I do my remakes, I tend to kind of freestyle it. This saves me time, but I've recently been practicing some 2D art again, and I feel like starting with a quick sketch could actually benefit me. Making a naked 3D shape without knowing exactly how things are going to come together can lead to issues, especially on big models. The last video in particular suffered from this and had some design elements I didn't feel worked out as well as they could have. Anyway, next up, I did the handle, which, spoilers, I completely redid later. So what's the point of showing you? I don't know. What's the point of making a model that doesn't end up in the game? We're here to have some fun. This weapon had three interesting challenges in texturing. One was the glowy stuff that I had to paint the lighting for. The second, well, it drops from Naxxramas, so it's all scourgy, and I wanted this vibe to translate over into the metal of the mace head. Especially that bit that hits you in the noggin. I want it to look used. Old. Not turn it into something too shiny and polished as if KT has been maintaining this thing. He hasn't. Lazy. The third challenge is all the little embellishments sitting at the bottom of the top blades. I would need to paint the glowy lighting into these as well, but before doing so, I would block out the pattern I wanted to go with using some simple line art. After which, it was time for my favorite friend, the pommel. You're watching me paint onto an extra low poly version right now, because I initially made it like that. But I realized I made it too much like that and added some extra polygons into it later. I tried extra hard to find that optimization sweet spot this time around and went back and forth a few times. Does it matter for my videos? No. But hey, might as well go all out if we're doing this in the first place. I put some highlights onto the blade, trying once more to go for that scourgy look. I initially went a bit hard on them, but I came in later and went over it with a soft brush, which worked nicely. After which it was time to paint the lighting onto my nifty pattern. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys here and say that I think it turned out kinda mediocre. But I didn't redo it because I knew the glow would end up masking it, so it's whatever. Anyway, I feel like it's kinda corny when I do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I wanted to thank everyone for the success of my previous video. As much as I enjoy being a streamer proxy channel, seeing my videos hit 50k views without external traffic felt pretty damn good. I spent a stupendous amount of hours into that one, and as much as I stress myself out during these projects, it's all worth it as soon as your wonderful comments start rolling in. And with that, I managed to go a whole video about Might of Menethil without once making a joke about the fact that it abbreviates to MOM. Special thank you to all my awesome patrons. Your support has enabled me to dedicate the time to this channel that I do, and considering I finally managed to move from my moldy ass apartment into a healthier yet unfortunately also more expensive one, that's more true than ever. So yeah, welcome to the new patron, Thick Stick Walker, and special shout out to the Ultra Mega Chats, Tombo Jimbo, Dinkeldork, and Mimiaga. You're all a bunch of legends.